난 자식아니야. 내가 읽어줘 조금 후임이야. 잘들 오보아. Hankang's The White Book is a simple and poetic story that talks about human feelings and thoughts. The story is based on the author's experience with loss and healing, focusing on the color white. The book tells a gentle story about life and death, memory, and finding peace. Hankang talks about her own pain, especially the death of her sister, and uses the color white to explore what it means to be human. The book shows the pain of losing someone and the strength to keep going. The story is made up of 36 chapters. Each chapter talks about different things related to the color white, like snow, salt, lilies, rice, milk, hospitals, and white paper. Each chapter is like a small story, but together they tell a bigger story about life, death, and human feelings. Through these chapters, Hankang shows the many meanings of the color white and helps readers understand the emotions. The book starts with a list of white things: snow, salt, rice, lilies, milk, gauze. These are all white things that have special meanings. They are things that are connected to both life and death. White can mean many things. It can mean new beginnings, purity, or something clean. It can also mean death or emptiness. By talking about these white things, the author helps readers feel both sadness and hope. One important part of the story is about snow. Snow covers everything and makes the world look white. Snow can mean both death and a new start. The author talks about a city covered in snow and describe the quietness and loneliness of the color white. Snow makes everything look new, covering all the old and tired things and giving hope for new possibilities. This image of snow is like the author's wish to cover her sadness about her sister and create new memories on top of the loss. The coldness of snow can be harsh, but it can also bring a kind of calmness, letting us forget our pain for a little while. Snow is described as falling gently, silently, creating a world that is almost completely white. This white world feels peaceful but also empty, showing how loneliness can come with the loss of someone we love. The quietness of snow covering everything is similar to the quiet that comes after someone passes away. It is like the world holds its breath, giving space for sadness, but also for reflection. Snow hides the colors of the world and makes it pure and simple again, just like the author wishes to find a simple meaning after all the pain she has gone through. Another important part of the book is about salt. Salt is a white crystal that is in our bodies. It represents tears and sweat, the saltiness of human feelings. Salt shows both pain and the strength it takes to keep living. It is something that makes our food taste better, but it also used to clean wounds. The author uses salt to talk about her own pain and her wish to heal. Salt can be bitter, but it also keeps us alive. This balance of salt being both helpful and hurtful shows the balance in the author's own life. She has been through pain, but she also wants to grow and live beyond that pain. The salt in tears is especially important. Tears are a sign of deep emotion, of loss, and letting go. The author describes her tears as something that flows out of her naturally, just like the salt in the sea. She uses this image to show how natural it is to feel pain after losing someone, but also how these tears can help wash away the sadness. The salt from tears becomes a symbol of cleansing, helping her to let go of the weight that has been in her heart for so long. The hospital is another important place in the book. It is described as a place full of white walls, white bed sheets, white gauze. This makes the hospital feel cold, empty, and lonely. The author talks about the sounds in the hospital, the quiet footsteps, the beeping of machines, the soft whispers of doctors and nurses. The hospital is a place where life and death exists side by side. It is where the people are saved, but it is also where people die. This makes the hospital becomes a symbol of border between life and death, a place where people wait to see which side they will end up on. White paper is also important in the story. It is empty and it has many possibilities. The author uses white paper as a symbol of her story. Writing on the paper is a way for her to give meaning to her life and organize her thoughts. It is also like a letter to her sister, a way of talking to her even though she's gone. Writing on the paper helps the author remember her sister, but it also helps her heal. The paper is empty at first, but when she writes on it, it becomes full of life. This shows that white is not just empty. It is full of possibilities, memories, and emotions. The act of writing is an important part of healing, giving the author a way to express her pain and find some peace. The hospital becomes a symbol of border between life and death, a place where people wait to see which side they will end up on. White paper is also important in the story. It is empty and it has many possibilities. The author uses white paper as a symbol of her story. Writing on the paper is a way for her to give meaning to her life and organize her thoughts. It is also like a letter to her sister, a way of talking to her even though she's gone. Writing on the paper helps the author remember her sister, but it also helps her heal. The paper is empty at first, but when she writes on it, it becomes full of life. This shows that white is not just empty. It is full of possibilities, memories, and emotions. The act of writing is an important part of healing, giving the author a way to express her pain and find some peace. The book also talks about white flowers like lilies. Lilies are often used at funerals, so they are connected to death. But they also means purity and innocence. The author uses lilies to talk about her sister's death, but also to find hope. She describes the lilies at her sister's funeral, their petals, soft and pure, and how they seem to be the last goodbyes. But lilies also grow again each year, and this makes them a symbol of new beginnings. Through lilies, the author shows that even though death is painful, it is not the end. The beauty of lilies shows the beauty of life, even in sadness. The flowers remind her that her sister's spirit can still live on her memories. Another important part is breast milk. Breast milk is white and it helps babies grow and stay healthy. It represents the beginning of life, love, and care. The author talks about a mother feeding her baby, the closeness they share, and how breast milk is the first food that gives life. Milk becomes a symbol of love that is pure and unconditional. The author uses this image to talk about her own family and the love that continues even after someone dies. The milk is like a promise that life will continue even in the face of loss. It is the connection between the past and the future, between death and new life. This shows the author's journey to find reasons to keep living and find hope after losing her sister. White clothes are also talked about in the story. White clothes are often used to dress the dead, but they also mean a new start. The author remembers her sister in white clothes, and she thinks about how those clothes were the last thing her sister wore. The white clothes become a symbol of peace, of living behind the pain and finding rest. But they also remind the author that death can be a new beginning. The clothes are simple and pure, and they show that the spirit is free from pain. This helps the author find peace in her own heart, even though she feels sadness. White clothes are also connected to ceremonies like weddings and funerals, both of which marks a change in life. This shows how white is connected to important changes, both happy and sad. In the White Book, Hankang explores life and death, loss and healing through different images of the color white. She uses white to show her emotions and her pain, but also to show the hope that can come after loss. White is not just empty, it holds many emotions and possibilities. The author shows that even in sadness, there is always the chance for a new beginning. White is both an ending and a beginning. Something that can cover over the pain, but also make new things possible. Through her gentle and poetic words, Hankang invites readers to feel these emotions deeply and to find hope even in the darkest times. The author describes how white can be found in many moments of life. In the snow that covers the world, in the salt of tears, in the flowers that bloom at the both beginnings and endings, in the milk that gives life, in the clothes that mark important changes. Each of these moments is connected to deep emotions. And through these emotions, we can understand what it means to be human. White is a color that can bring both comfort and sadness, but it is always a reminder of the possibility of something new. The author uses these images to tell a story about loss, healing, and the beauty of life. Even when these things, Hankang's gentle writing and poetic words shows the pain and beauty of life through the color white. The book leaves a deep impression on the reader, inviting them to think about their own lives and the moments that have shaped them. White is a color that is often seen as empty, but in the white book, it is shown to be full of meaning. It is a color that connects us to our deepest feelings, both the pain of loss and the hope for a new beginning. Through this story, Hankang beautifully portrays the human desire to find hope, even in the face of sadness. And she reminds us that even in the emptiest moments, there is still a chance for something beautiful to grow.